Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, been real busy the last week or two with work and some other stuff, and just haven't had a lot of time to get here in the shop. But I am going to put together an odds and ends video, and I know some of you guys don't really like this format, but hang in there. There's some really cool stuff in this video that I think you're going to enjoy. I've got some new purchases that I brought into the shop. I got a new machine I'm going to share with you guys, as well as some really cool items that have come in. Got a lot of red Starrett boxes over here, guys, just a spoiler alert. So first off, just let me start by saying I've been getting a lot of emails, a lot of text messages on Facebook and Instagram concerning the hurricane and the storm. Yes, Hurricane Sally made landfall, I guess a day or so ago now, over on the coast down in the Gulf. I was not in this direct path. We have gotten a lot of rain out of this storm, but it's just been a rainmaker for me. I think this morning we were up to about 4¼ inches, and it's raining right now. You may be able to hear it on the roof. You'll probably hear it throughout this video. But no wind, no damage there. I'll also just mention real quickly, I know it did make landfall down there close to Adam Booth in Pensacola. I've talked with Adam. Adam is fine. He actually wasn't even at home. He was in Colorado, but he has talked to some family members who have checked on his property, and last report I had, everything was good there, and the storm has pretty much moved past him. So just give that little heads up as well. So with all of that out of the way, let's get in here and start talking about some of the cool items we got here to share in this odds and ends. So start out with Craigslist find. Actually, I want to thank my buddy Forbes Matthews, who lives up in North Georgia. He actually sent me a text message when this popped up on Craigslist last week and made me aware of it. It was a really, really good deal on this. This is a 5-inch Wilton bullet vise. It's one of the bigger Wilton bullet vices. They did make them bigger than this. They had 6-inch and 8-inch versions. But really been looking for a bigger vise to use in my shop. I've got a 5-inch vise over on my welding bench now, but it's not the Wilton type, and it's not on a swivel base. And I just really love these Wilton bullet style vices. So this came up. I was fortunately the first person to get in on it, and the person was able to hold it for me until I could get up there a day or two later. I was actually out of town myself whenever I got the message on it. It was going to be a couple of days. I was worried he wasn't going to hold it, but he did me right. He hung on to it for me, and I was able to run up and pick this up last week. So really excited to have this, and very reasonable price. I was able to purchase it well below what they're currently selling for, but talking with the guy, he got even a better deal on it. He made money on it. It was a good deal for both of us, so everybody won. But I'm real happy to have this nice new addition to the shop. I will say this vise mechanically is in great shape. I am probably going to take it apart, clean it really well, go ahead and repaint it so that it looks basically brand new. All in all, it's in really nice shape. The jaws are a little bit beat up on the outside, but the actual knurling on the inside is in excellent shape. So we're probably just going to leave it like it is. Next item here, we got a nice Starrett red box, and you're going to be seeing a lot of these in this video. Real excited. But this particular item was sent to me by Bruce Jackson, who lives up in British Columbia, up in Canada. And Bruce is actually the guy that I made the table saw arbor for a while back. And he wanted to send this to me. He told me he actually bought this tool brand new. I think he said in 1979. I think he used it one time, and said he just was never going to have a use for it. So what we got here is a Starrett plumb bob. Now, if you're not familiar with a plumb bob, it is a tool for finding level. There's a little place there for your string to kind of come up through. You can tie this up above someplace and let it just hang down, and it will show you nice and level, square to the ground, where that comes out at. So they use these in the building trades and some other things. They're actually a very handy tool. I've got some other plumb bobs, but I don't have a Starrett one until now. I do now. Very, very nice tool in practically brand new condition. Like I said, he used it one time, and that was almost 40 years ago. So anyway, very nice collection. Bruce, thank you very much for sending that along. I am going to put this into my collection, and I'm sure that it will get used because I do use plumb bobs from time to time. I've got a few, but none as nice as this one. Thank you very much. So up next, I got a couple of Starrett items again. These are from Ron Clue, who I got to meet out at the Barsey Summer Bash this year, which went out to California a couple of weeks ago, and much scaled down bash than we normally see, but still had a good turnout out there, and a lot of people online this year. But I met Ron. I think I've met Ron before, but Ron this year actually brought out his collection of Starrett tools. He has an amazing collection of Starrett tools, and he brought out a bunch of the really rare stuff and put it out on Friday for folks to be able to see. And I was sitting there talking with him, and when I first went up to him, he actually gave me this. This is a Starrett tool I didn't even know that they made. And you may or may not know what this is. It's not round, it's kind of oval shaped. This is all hardened down here. But this is a burnishing tool, and it is used to sharpen a wood scraper, to basically put a little hook on the end of something. I've never even seen this in the catalogs, but I'm sure that they are. This is a number 810. But he handed me that knowing that I do some scraping, and this is a tool for scraping, in this case wood scraping, not metal scraping, but a burnishing tool. While I was there, I was talking to him, and I said, you know, I've got this, in fact, I'm going to bring it in here. I've got this collection of Starrett little display item, I guess you could say. This, I think, is from back in the 1930s. And this would probably been in a hardware store or something like that where they had these items up there where you can come in there and purchase them. I picked up this little display item sometime back. It's been in the odds and ends in the past. And over a while, I have been trying to fill out all the holes. And I've still got a few items in here that I'm trying to get. The number 119 back here, which he says is kind of a unicorn. The 176 A and B, these are nail sets. I didn't have those two. He actually had a extra 176B, and I actually bought one of these from him, so that kind of fills in an extra hole here. The other ones that I'm missing are the number 256s. These are also nail sets, but they're the square-handled ones or square-bodied ones. I've got two of the sizes, but I'm still missing the A, C, D, E, and F sizes in there. Been on the lookout for those for a while and haven't really had much luck finding them. But anyway, I'm filling this thing out. I keep this over there kind of on my toolbox, and all these are users for me. I will use the tools in here. I go grab these all the time, but I really like having this little Starrett display item here to put them in. Just really is cool, I think. But anyway, Ron, thank you for helping fill this collection out, and thank you for the burnishing tool. Both of them greatly appreciated. Next here, I got a collection of some tools that were sent in by R. Taylor out in California, and several things. This is actually some tooling I can use on my metal planer once I get it going. That's just a tool holder there that you can put into the metal planer, put some high-speed steel tools in there. Big block of high-speed steel tool. That'll be a really nice piece to go on the metal planer. Here's a carbide, brazed on carbide. Got a couple of hold down clamps. And this one here is another block that I can put up in my tool holder on there. And again, it's made for high-speed steel. That looks like something that was shop made. So some nice tooling here again for the metal planer, which we hope to have up and going soon. So up next here, this is kind of a neat little thing for the restoration guys. I reached out to a gentleman named Ryan Sellers a while back, and Ryan I knew was making reproduction decals to go on all kinds of machinery restorations. He's got a little sideline business that he does, mainly doing things for like fire engines and so forth, decals and so forth. But he is a machine guy, a woodworker, metalworker, and has done some decals for machine restorations as well. And I was specifically trying to find this decal right here for my Crescent bandsaw. When I started working on my Crescent bandsaw, I came really close to not even touching the paint job on it because you could still see the remnants of this old decal on there. The paint job was in pretty rough shape. In the end, I had decided to just go ahead and wipe it off, but I was able to work with Ryan, and he was actually able to make a reproduction decal. This is a water slide decal, just like the original, that I'll be putting on that machine here very soon, right where the other one was. And Ryan actually, whenever he sent me some stuff, he sent me some other things as well. This is just some stuff that he put together that he does. It's got his logo, or one of his logos, and some cool little, things like pinstriping type stuff. This is some pinstriping decals. This is one he just sent me for Yates American. This is one that you saw in a lot of old Yates American machines. And then this one here, restored by Vintage Machinery, Tifton, Georgia. So we'll probably maybe stick that on a machine somewhere along the way. I wanted to show these. I am going to be applying that onto my bandsaw here pretty soon, but I just wanted to kind of get word out. If you're doing a restoration and you're needing a decal reproduction, get up with Ryan. And I'm going to try to get, I don't have it right now in front of me, but I'm hopefully by the time I publish this, Ryan was going to be putting together a little website where you could go to find out more information about his services, and I will put that down in the description, assuming that I'm able to get that from him. He was working on it last time I talked to him. If not, you can find Ryan over on Instagram as well as Facebook. If you just search his name, you can probably come up with him there and send him a private message that way. But really excited to get this. He's doing an absolutely fantastic job, and he can do the artwork as well as actually make the decals, which is really a nice thing to have. I will warn you guys, if you're needing custom artwork done, that's where really the expense is in getting these reproductions done. But Ryan will work with you. Kind of similar to the machine tags that Tom Utley does. The machine, making the machine tag, there's a cost to that, but really the time is spent in doing all the artwork to get it where you have the right design. So you need to take that into consideration when you wanting a custom job like this done. But Ryan, you knocked it out of the park. I'm really excited to have these. Probably going to use some of these pinstripings on my planer. I think that'd be kind of cool. So you might see those show up down the road as well. And with that, guys, we're going to go on to the next thing. So guys, up next, pretty amazing collection of tools here, got from Dan Fairbanks. Dan lives up in Tennessee, and he told me that he is actually, he is a retired millwright, and he had a bunch of tools from back when he was working in the trade. He is retired. He's basically selling his home, relocating to another area, downsizing, and he had a bunch of tools that he was wanting to find a home for, and we worked out a deal. He sent me down a bunch of really, really nice stuff here I wanted to share with you guys. And this is a pretty amazing collection, and Dan, really appreciate you reaching out to me on this. We got some pretty neat things in here, and I will say there were a couple of things in here that he had some duplicates on. I'm just kind of showing an example of what's all here. There was actually a few more things in this lot, but we'll just real quickly go through this and kind of show you what all we got. So first off, really nice set of Mitutoyo 12-inch dial calipers. I've got several sets of 6-inch dial calipers that I use all the time. These 12-inchers, they're not a daily user by any mean, but there are times you just need a bigger set of calipers, and really nice to have a set to be able to go grab and use. So this will definitely be a nice addition to the shop. Some other little things here. He sent along a couple of packs of some telescoping gauges. There's a general set there, and there's a set by Enco, some different sizes. Got some set of dividers and calipers, spring calipers. These things, you don't see me using them a lot, but again, there are places where these things really come in handy, and I use them. I actually use these outside ones when I'm wood turning quite frequently, because I can just kind of slide it over and see when I've gotten to a certain point. I'm going to move this out of the way. We're going to work through these and show you what all we got here. Really nice set of Starrett drive pin punches. If you don't have a set like this, I highly recommend it. Doing machine restoration work, you just need to be able to punch stuff out, and these are the long ones. Starrett made a short set too, but these are the long sets, man. I've got some. They're not as nice as these, but I use these things all the time. It is a must-have tool in the shop if you're doing restoration work. Here we got, this is actually a puller, and this is a proto puller. It looks like it's brand new. I mean, the the screw there is still wrapped up. I don't think it's ever even been used. Really nice puller that, again, doing restoration work, I'm sure that's going to come in handy. Got a Starrett 1-inch travel indicator. A little sticky and could use a new crystal, no big deal. I will send this off to my buddy Mark Rotowski over at MR Tool, and he will have it send it back. It'll look like a brand new indicator. But that's a nice Starrett indicator. Good useful size, couple of micrometers here, a couple of 0 to 1s and a 1 to 2. These are all Starrett's as well. Got here some nice Starrett 98 machinist levels. These are, I think it's each increment on there is what, 3 thousandths per foot or something like that. This is much, much more accurate than a carpenter's level. Starrett actually made their Precision Master level, which is even more accurate than these. But for general use around shop, these 98s, these Starrett 98s are super handy, and they made these, I think, in 5 different sizes. The 6-inch and the 12-inch are probably the 2 most useful ones. I think they made a 16 or 18-inch one as well, one size larger than this, and I think there was a 9-inch, a 6-inch, maybe a 4-inch and 3-inch. I can't remember exactly, but super handy. These are great for leveling machines. You might want to go to the master level once you get them level with this. But the thing about the Precision Master level, it's so ticky that you really need to start with one of these and then move on to the Master Precision level. So anyway, a couple of nice levels there. Again, a tool, if you got a shop, you want to be able to level your machines, you need to have the right tools to do it. So this is kind of neat set of feeler gauges. These are made by Proto, but look how long they are. I've got some feeler gauge sets over there, and again, doing machine restoration work, I'm always wanting to put a feeler gauge underneath something to kind of see how much gap there is. So when I'm rebuilding and scraping, we use these things all the time to kind of see what we got. Didn't have a long set. I got some short sets, but that's going to be really nice. Got a couple of machinist jacks here. These look like they're homemade ones, but very nicely made. But you can use these for different setups on mill machine. A lot of times they were called planer jacks. Back in the old days, they used them on metal planers a lot when you had an oddball casting that you needed to support in different places. I've got a good collection of planer jacks. I will put these with them because I use them all the time. Next thing here, we got a little Interpack jack. So this is a hydraulic jack. It's a 5-ton jack. It's very short barrel here. It doesn't lift up much, but this is really a handy tool to have when you're moving around machines and stuff and need to be able to pick something up just a little bit. You can get this in a tight area, and if you got one of the little handheld hydraulic things, I've got a set of these that you can just plug in there and you just pump this thing up. So really handy to have some of those around the shop. Height gauge for the surface plate. That one's a little rusty, but a good soak in Evapor Rust, and it'll be like brand new. So this is kind of neat. This is a Starrett 13B. Little square, a little adjustable square. I don't have one of these. This is a very, very nice one. Looks like it's hardly ever been used. It's in the box. When I unwrapped it, it was still in that plastic in there. I took it out for the picture here. A couple of these, I call them gooseneck indicator holders. So you loosen this down here, and let's see, all that becomes flexible, and you pull it back tight, and it's got a cable inside of it that kind of pulls tight on these little ball joints. And these things were kind of the really cool indicator holder back in the 1980s. Honestly, we've come out with some better stuff like the Nogas, but these are still very nice indicator holders, and I'm sure that these will get used, or this one will get used. I'll add it to my collection over there, and I'm sure it'll get used at some point in time, because you just can't have too many of these indicator holders, particularly when you're doing jobs. Sometimes I'm setting something up and I might want to have 3 or 4 different indicators in different places, so having some bases is good for that. This is kind of a neat little thing if you've never seen it. It's called a wraparound tool, and you do that. You take a piece of pipe or whatever and you wrap this around it, and you can read the circumference as well as the diameter using the scale on here. So any kind of irregular shape, if you want to measure it, you can use one of these. Again, tool I didn't have. I was aware of this tool. I've seen them before, but I've never had one, and looks like it's hardly ever even been used. So we got a Starrett Model 645, a back plunge indicator. This is their, in my opinion, they're a little bit nicer back plunge indicator than their some of the other ones that are a little bit more common. Got that long stem on there, really, really nice. And talking about back plunge indicators, let's see here. This is the Starrett 196 set. So this again is a back plunge indicator. Nothing wrong with this indicator at all. This was a very popular model by Starrett. But a little bit, not quite the same quality as that other indicator over there. And this one is in the set that has all the holders, the inside bore attachment, some extra tips, some rods and stuff to set it up on different things. A clamp here, again, a very good tool for machinery rebuilding and setting up. And in addition to that, there's actually another set here, very similar to that other one, but this one actually has another one of the 645 indicators in it, with all the mounting screws, snug here. There's your inside hole attachment, clamp, etc. So a couple of really nice back plunge indicator sets, plus an extra one of the 645s. This is a tachometer. So this is kind of a neat thing. You put a different tip on here, put the tip on here, you can put that up on a shaft, and as it spins, it will give you the readout. And I believe this one actually has a timer in it. So whenever you push that button, it automatically times it, and after it spins up, it'll give you a direct reading on RPMs and 1,000 RPMs. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, that's all 1,000 RPMs. This one, you know, they make the Starrett makes the little handheld one that just gives you revolutions, and you have to time it to figure up what the actual speed is. The nice thing about this one is that you push the button and it automatically times and it does the conversion for you over there. So just a really nice set. This one's just a little bit easier, quicker, faster to use than the typical type speed indicator. We got a depth micrometer set, nice little Starrett depth micrometer set, in excellent condition. You know, the case is a little bit, looks like it's been around the block, but the tool itself has hardly ever been used. That'd be a really nice addition there. There's a little Craftsman 1,000th inch dial caliper. This one is the one that is a little bit coarser than like the Starrett, so that's you know, one revolution on this one is actually 200 thousandths, whereas on a typical dial caliper, one revolution is 100 thousandths. But still a very nice tool, and you can still read down to 1,000th of an inch with it, and it's very well. This is an old school Craftsman here. I'm sure it wasn't made by Craftsman. Craftsman didn't make anything themselves. They bought it out. I'm not sure who would have made this one, but this is a very nice all metal. I mean, it looks like, the quality looks like Starrett, Brown and Sharp, you know, Mitutoyo, something like that, but it was badged as Craftsman. Nice set there. And this is a neat little gadget right here if you've never seen one of these, and you might say, well, what in the world is that? This chain is to wrap around a piece of pipe or anything that's round that you want to put on there. So you got the chain here, and you basically just hook that in there, and you tighten this thing up down here, and you can tighten it up on whatever size piece of pipe you want. And it's got some different holes in here in different places, and what you do with this is you can actually put an indicator on that. So let me show you. I'm going to open up one of these sets that had the indicator mounts in there, but well, here you go. See how that screws in there? Now I can mount an indicator on this, and I got it mounted to a piece of something round or a piece of pipe or whatever. So again, you know, this guy was a millwright. He was basically setting machines up and equipment up in factories and whatever. They were needing to be able to do all kinds of precision measurements to get things set up, and they often needed to put an indicator on something that wasn't easy to put an indicator on. So this is a really neat tool. I didn't have one of these. I've seen them. I knew what it was when I saw it, but this is a really nice tool, and I'm sure it's something that I'll be using at some point in time. So again, a really nice collection of tools here, some stuff that definitely I can use here in the shop, and wow, just a really nice set. So Dan, thanks so much for working with me on this, and really appreciate it. This is going to be really nice to have some of these tools around. So up next here, I got a new machine for the shop that was a purchase. Picked this up a couple weeks ago, got it into the shop, and real excited to have this. This is actually more from my woodworking side of the shop, but it really fills a hole that I've had as far as a tool machine need for quite some time. This is a big wood planer. So what I got here is a Powermatic 20-inch wood planer. And I picked this thing up. I actually ran up to Virginia and got it. It has the knife grinding attachment on here, so you can actually sharpen the knives right in the head. It will plane a piece of wood 20 inches wide. I forget how high, but about, probably 12-inch thick timber you can run through this thing. So it's a really heavy-duty, nice wood planer. And I am really excited to have it in the shop. I'm still trying to do a little cleanup on it. When I got it, it had been in storage for quite some time, and the exposed metal on here had a little bit of surface rust, so I'm still kind of getting some of that cleaned up. But it does work. It does work great. I've also ordered a new set of knives for it, even though it's got the knife grinding attachment. I just wanted to go ahead and put a new set of knives in there and start from a fresh set and have those to go for a while. It's got the dust hood attachment on there. I've got a little dust collector I need to get hooked up to it to pull the chips out as well. This thing, you can adjust the height of the thickness of the table right here. It's variable speed on how fast it pulls through. So you got a Reeves drive in here. You just crank on this handle and it speeds up and slows down the feed rollers. Let's see other features. Other features on here, it's got a forward and reverse on the feed mechanism going in there. So if you've ever done much planing, sometimes you may be a little bit greedy and try to take a little bit too much off with one pass and your board gets stuck in there. You may have taper to your board. You get it started good, and as it gets in there, it kind of jams out. Well, you can just flip a drum switch here and it will reverse the direction of the rollers and actually feed that board back out, which is a really nice thing to have. The grinding head that goes on here is not mounted on here. You just put it on here when you're grinding. I've got it elsewhere, but it did come with that as well. And yes, it works. So even with the original knives in here, it's still making a pretty clean cut right now. And of course, we put some new knives in there, it'll even be better. So nice addition to the shop here. I've actually got some wood projects coming up that I need to get done. And I've been needing a thickness planer to do some of this. So at some point in time, we may do a cosmetic restoration on this. The machine functions as it is, but it'd be nice to strip the old paint off, repaint it, and make it look a little bit nicer. But mechanically, it really doesn't appear to need much other than getting a little bit more cleaning up in there, getting some of this rust cleaned up on it. No big deal at all. Well, guys, I think that pretty much wraps up all the show and tell that we got to show you guys this time around. Have a lot of stuff that's come into the shop over the last couple of weeks, and I need to go ahead and get that knocked out. Also, I'm just going to kind of give you a little bit of teaser. I have been for quite some time telling you about this hole that I've got over here in the shop that I cleaned out for a nice new machine that's coming in. If all goes as planned, I'm actually hoping that we're going to be able to bring that machine into the shop this weekend, right after we post this video. And I've actually got another machine that looks like it's going to be coming into the shop. We did a little trade-on, little swap out from one machine for a little bit different machine, same type of machine, but different. And I'm hoping that we're going to be able to bring that into the shop this weekend as well. So 2 new machines in one weekend. I'm probably going to be spend the majority of my weekend time that I use in the shop getting things moved, unloaded, loaded, do rigging, getting things moved around here in the shop and getting things situated. But I hope to have, coming up very soon, 2 new exciting machines to share with you guys that we're going to be adding to the shop. So I'm excited about that, but still got some logistics to get worked out. Hasn't happened yet, but that is the game plan for this weekend. Guys, with that, that is going to be a wrap. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Those thumbs up and comments are appreciated. And guys, we will catch you on the next video.